Fuck you, Craig. First off.
Don't listen to him, Craig. Or, well, I guess do, because that's what your job is. But don't take it to heart.
I'm just kidding, Craig. You're useful. You have utility to me.
What poem is that from?
What?
What you said about Craig, that was beautiful. What poem is that from?
Who the fuck is Craig recording?
It's the NSA.
Oh shit, dude. What's up?
All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm. Ready as a shit, dude. I wish I was better at on the fly Southern expressions.
Ready as a shit dude?
Ready as a shit, dude.
Ready as a redneck with a firecracker in his asshole.
That's pretty red.
All right, so last time on Dragon Ball Dungeon,
Balls.
you guys left Artesia's tower. That salamander showed up. And he was talking to you guys, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to chill here until Artesia finishes that sword. And then you guys made a beeline right for Ashen Tract. And after a while, you ran into these people, these blue people.
Oh, yeah.
The druid.
Oh yeah, the bloops.
Yeah.
The mushroom.
That's what you called them, right?
I remember that.
The bloops.
Yeah. That's what I remember. Anybody else remember that?
Yes.
I remember going the Last of Us on some zombie kind of things.
Yeah. So you guys left, and then you went Last of Us. You fought those.
Mushrooms!
Yeah, you took a shortcut to mushrooms, and then you met those blue people. They kind of like came out of the dark and surrounded you guys, and that's where we ended abruptly last time.
Yeah, you said they have blue skin.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have blue skin, but if you look at the picture, it's like kind of like floral kind of plant matter on their face and on their skin in general. And then we're picking up here. So they step out of the forest, and they're like, okay, what are you guys doing here? Are you guys spies from Castle Greenstone? That's one in particular that like kind of is facing the party head on.
Do we know what Castle Greenstone is?
You know that it's off to the south. Maybe Barash has been there, but I don't think that anybody else would have been there.
I say no. We're not from there.
She looks kind of confused, and she says, "Please come with us to talk to the Archdruid. We need to figure out what's going on here."
They sound really important. So I think that's a good idea. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think we have time for that.
Okay, everybody in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes, we would love to join you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so you guys are walking. The ones beside you and behind you kind of depart from you back off into the darkness, and the ones in front of you are kind of leading you through this area. Which you, Cynthia, you pretty much know the exact direction that you're going. You're going towards Ashen Tract, and after a while, there starts being more fungus around that you're noticing on the trees. And the path doesn't ever get wider. Like, it's not a more beaten path. It takes probably like an hour and a half to finally get to this conglomeration of hovels, I would say. You start noticing it. You see your first one still a ways off from the small community that you're going towards, and it's kind of just like a small mud hut set into the ground, made of like kind of packed mud on sticks and leaves. And you start seeing more and more of them until you finally you step out into like almost this clearing. The trees are really tall here, and you just see a lot of those what are they called? Those like things that witches make, where they tie up like skulls and
Effigies?
Yes, exactly. You see a lot of these effigies just hanging around on vines, with a lot of skulls and leaves and stuff. And except for the hovels, nothing is actually indoors. You don't see any sort of like big hut or anything. You do see, however, kind of off to the side, it's a large pit. And the lead scout lady is like, if you'd please, just crawl into the pit, and we'll send for you whenever our archdruid would like to speak with you.
There's a pit of what now?
There's a pit, not a nasty, dirty, wet pit filled with ends of worms and an oozy smell, but it's kind of like a
hob pit.
yeah. It's kind of like a cylindrical hole. It's not just like kind of haphazardly dug out of the ground. It's like a circular room that's just set into the ground. And you see several other people down there too.
How deep is it?
Is it like a dugout, like baseball style? Is that a better word for it?
It's kind of like that, except for it's about 15 feet deep, and the walls are all very sheer.
I asked people that are already in the pit if we should get in the pit.
Tasha's not getting in the pit.
Yeah, I told them to wait for the archdruid up here on normal ground.
Yeah.
One of the people says, it'd probably be best if you didn't argue with them.
This one of the people in the pit says that to us.
Yeah.
Oh.
I asked him how long he's been waiting.
I asked them how probable it would be that would be best.
He yells back. He's like, I've been here for 3 days, and I don't think that you have much of a choice. I had 2 friends that thought that they had a choice, and now there's only 3 of us instead of 5.
They tell you that you were going to get to talk to the archdruid too?
He says, I've talked to the archdruid once already.
Okay.
He definitely seems kind of scared. It's definitely like a jail kind of vibe. And the scout that's leading you is like, you're kind of our guests now. So if you would please just hop in the pit. There are over 200 of us that live in this community. And I think that you would do well to abide by our guest rules.
Fine.
No. I'm going to roll a persuasion check and say that I'd really feel more comfortable if we were able to stay together as a group on regular ground.
She says, first off, you can stay as a group in the pit.
Yeah, in a very vulnerable position to be, kept there against our will.
Right. All right, roll it.
22 total.
Okay. She kind of feels for you, and she's like, well, I want it to be clear that you guys are our guests and not our prisoners. So let me go see about the archdruid. Let me see if she's doing anything right now, and maybe you guys can just talk to her right now instead of having to wait.
Can I roll insight to see if she thinks, like, when she says, I wanted to be clear that we're your guests and not prisoners, can I roll insight to see if she has a different standard for that than we might?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does she honestly think that it's just guest custom, or like is this just like kind of sugar-coated language for you're our prisoner, bitch? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, go for it.
I got a 15.
Okay, you can tell that she isn't perfectly vibing with the rest of the commune. Like, you can tell that she's trying to buy into all of this still.
Okay, so I do get this. There's a sort of like double speaky element to this. Okay.
Yeah. And she leaves, and the other scouts, who all look kind of similar to this, they're all kind of shifting nervously. And after about 10 minutes, she comes back and she's like, yeah, the archdruid just completed one of her rituals, so she will see you all now.
Cool.
So yeah, she like asks you guys to all dismount and stuff, and they have like a little stable thing for your animals. Do all of you want to come, or do you want to leave? Tunky, do you want to leave your vassals behind?
Yeah, I tell Hanbei, the older one, to like not to draw attention to himself, but to see if he can like get any more info from the prisoners without arousing suspicion.
Yeah. Okay, so you send him into the pit?
Can I cast guidance on Hanbei?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Whatever roll he gets on that check, he gets an extra 3 to that check to gather information.
Cool. Ian, go ahead and roll an insight check for him, and I guess he'd get like a +2 because he seems pretty wise. He is old, and then we'll resolve that later. Whatever you roll.
And he got an 8, so with the +3, 11.
Okay, and then the +2, 13, or is that including the +2?
That included the +2.
Okay, so 11. Okay, you guys go off towards like the center of town, and it is kind of like a dugout thing. It's more of like a shit. My vocabulary is terrible today. Those like outdoor auditorium things.
Theater?
Yes. Thanks, Daryl. You're on point today. Yeah, it's an amphitheater outside, and kind of in the center, you see the archdruid, and I'll post a picture of her.
She look like?
I say, shit, bro, where's the rave? As soon as we get into her company.
She says, "We don't rave here. We're all perfectly sane."
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have got my slang wrong, and then I start looking through my book.
Thesaurus rave. You see kind of like she has a bunch of components around her. She has a table made out of a tree stump, and then she has like a fire pit kind of off to the side that she has a cauldron on bubbling, and then she has various roots and herbs on a shelf behind her. It looks like this is kind of the place that she teaches her druidic ways. And she says, step right up, come on. And you guys are still kind of on the outside of the amphitheater.
Yeah, I step
go
up.
Yeah.
Okay, she's like, welcome to our conclave. Now, my scout told me that you might be spies from Castle Greenstone, and we can't have that. So let's just get everything on the table here. Why are you here, and what is your purpose?
I've been trying to figure out that shit my whole life.
I tell her that we're on our way to Ashen Tract and that this was the most direct way from where we previously were to Ashen Tract. So
she says, so Ashen Tract spies then?
No, we're not spies for anybody. We just happen to pass through your territory, not knowing that we were, intruding. Our apologies on that. But this was just the quickest route from where we were before this. So yeah.
Yeah.
I like give my name in full honorifics, and I tell her that I have nothing to hide, and I'll answer anything she has to ask honestly.
She says, with all due respect, sir, we are a meritocracy here, and all of us have simple names given to each other. Ashen Tract has walls, does it not? You must be spies of civilization itself.
My habit of furious note-taking looks pretty bad right now, I'm assuming.
I tell her we'd be happy to leave their lands without knowing anything about them that we haven't learned already.
She says, hear me out. We're all still friends here. I'm not trying to keep you here against your will. Rather, I would want to convince you to join our side. You see, many people wander these forests lost, literally and metaphorically, whether they know it or not. And being from a place with walls like that, with houses, with roofs, you have lost your connection with nature.
She calling us like a soy boy in a really roundabout way.
Yeah. I don't know. Take what you will.
Just fucking with everything. She is definitely. Well, I put my book away as discreetly as possible, and stop writing down everything. But I do want to like try and like memorize this conversation to put in my notes later.
She says, I was once like you. I was from Castle Greenstone. I was part of the Royal Rangers that reported to the Castle Greenstone King. And once I met our archdruid, it was like my eyes were truly opened. They are a powerful being, and they talk to a supreme god, a powerful god that was unlike anything that I've encountered before. I used to live in fear of what lay on the other side of the castle walls, but now there are no walls. There's nothing to fear. And so I would ask if you would consider worshiping our god Churn, the god of reclamation.
Huh. I say all due respect, but I'm accounted for, milady. I have my own worship and divine lineage.
She waves her hand and she's like, false gods, false gods.
I tell her, I do roll persuasion, and I tell her that
Picnics.
I appreciate her, desire to bring about a better world, but we're just honestly on a mission, and we're not trying to cause any trouble here. We just want to, be on our way, and if we've caused any offense by traveling through your lands, we apologize. But we're just trying to make our way to Ashen Tract, and that's it.
She says, with all due respect, we seek to draw the poison from the wound, as it were.
So we're not leaving. The only question that you have for us is whether or not we're going to worship your, what was it? Chafe?
She says, that's Churn, the god of reclamation.
Okay, so Chafe. I'm a man of letters. I've never read anything about this Churn.
Bryn, do some god magic.
Maybe I ask how old and powerful is Churn?
She says he was but a worm 2 centuries ago, and already he has taken over the land of shadows.
Okay, that's neat. Well, my god has devoted aeons to knowledge and learning, so I think that he's probably seen something a little bit like your god.
She says he's done so well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I lived in Castle Greenstone, and I know what I feared outside of the castle walls. And I have seen the sky. Your god is nothing.
I mean, relatively speaking, your god is also nothing. So
My god was literally nothing a little over 2 centuries ago, but already he's come so far. So I'll tell you this. And she starts getting a little bit short, and you can tell that she's getting kind of irritated with the conversation.
I feel like I got short first, honestly.
She's like, in order to reconnect with nature and connect with Churn and reclaim your heritage, you must drink from the woodland phlegm. And she like picks up the cauldron that's on the fire with like a big set of wooden tongs basically, and sets it on the table. And she makes a big sound in her throat, and she
Oh,
hawks up a
Jesus
big old
Christ.
loogie in the cauldron. And
Oh
as
my
you step
God.
further towards it, it's just this kind of murky brown and yellow and black gritty liquid. And as she kind of churns it with a no pun intended, as she kind of churns it with a ladle, she like pulls it up and it has that kind of like goopiness that it's sticking to itself.
Oh my God.
And
this
she's
is the
like-
vilest shit of all time.
She's like, all beings worship churn in one way or another, from the humanoid down to the smallest germ. And in order to reclaim what was once yours, you have to get in tune with your own gut. And so imbibe the woodland phlegm, and we will teach you how to control yourself, how to control the germs in you, and how to worship churn. That's all you have to do.
So I say, okay. I just have a couple of theological questions. If we all worship Churn knowingly or unknowingly, and he's only been around for, you said, a couple centuries? So, I mean, he seems kind of weak, all things considered, if he has the praise of every living being, and he's only managed to band together some Boy Scouts in the woods. Like, I just can't say I'm too impressed.
She says that he reclaimed that title from nothingness.
Interesting. Okay.
She's like, basically, if you had to boil his philosophy down, it's that most things are not working at total efficiency, and it needs to be reclaimed. The inefficiencies need to be reclaimed. The bounds between yourself and the woodland need to be broken down, as does the literal boundaries between the city and the wilds.
Okay, so I like Tonki's idea of me like flexing my magic a bit. But I feel like we gotta like make some sort of like, all right, how about this? Like a test of, like that shit in the Old Testament where it's like the sorcerers and Moses or whatever, and they have like a magic off. Like we gotta set some stakes. Like if we win our little display of magic, then we get something, and maybe just we get to go. Otherwise, like we will play along with their weird shit.
Yeah, at this point, she's kind of like expectantly. Honestly, she looks like she's expecting you guys to hear her offer and to imbibe the woodland phlegm. So if you want to do something like that, then what do you want to do?
That's the only idea I got, but I am definitely open to anything else because I'm not drinking woodland phlegm, personally speaking.
Tell her that I'm not really a religious person in my current state of being. I used to be when I was more of a humanoid being, but basically I have access to magic, and I don't ever have heard of this woodland god that you speak of, Churn or whatever. So seems like it's pretty much just you guys here drinking that nasty goop who think that your god is all that. But I don't mind drinking that goop, but it's not going to do anything. I'll just let you know right now.
She kind of notices that you're not human. And she's like, "Woodman, we will have something different for you. You need not worry about the woodland phlegm. I do not believe it would affect you."
I feel like she probably has a pretty sketch opinion of Warforged in the first place, since they are like basically industrial, like mechanical bodies.
She definitely hasn't ever seen anything like him before. But yeah, she would.
how's everybody else feeling? I'm strongly against drinking the snot.
As a
Um,
as a as a woodland dwelling, no civilization living, occult person who's slightly interested in the occult, who can kind of relate to this person. I don't want to drink that goop.
he's like, this should tick off all my boxes, but I'm not into it.
I can kind of imagine you like leaning over it with a disgusted look, and she kind of starts describing the things in it. It's just like it's the phlegm of it's the mucus of our clan. It has a little bit of entrails, a little bit of fecal matter, dirt, ground up leaves.
Has she ever heard of like aqueducts or like a water filtration system? Like,
dude, that's the thing though. Like, she wants to make you guys sick because that will make Churn's worshippers stronger. Like, it'll multiply them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because all the germs worship Churn.
Yeah.
No thanks. I'm not a petri dish.
It's gonna be enough.
And actually, just tying this into the first adventure that you guys had, the setup that she has here is very similar to the Pikunax, the bug friend that poisoned the barbarian prince.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was hell long ago.
Bug lady.
But anyways, you guys want to say anything, or you want to style on her?
No, I pretty much tell her I have no intention of becoming a petri dish for your foul abomination of an imposter god.
She's like, petri dish. I like that.
Well, too bad we only came up with it in the city walls. So, take it or leave it.
She's like, that's just more classic example of people living in cities hoarding their resources from us.
I feel like you're making some equivocations, lady.
Her name is Florence.
So should I just,
I mean, yeah,
Like-
it's up to you guys at this point because I firmly have like made my opinion known. I doubt I'm making it out of here like non-confrontationally.
I kind of feel like using my conquering presence and trying to make her frightened of me.
What's Taki up to?
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm just also making a quesadilla.
Okay, just I felt like Tonki would have had a strong opinion by now.
Yeah, he tells him that this idea makes his stomach churn.
Lol.
So you're trying to be a scary boy, Marshall? You were kind of cutting out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could use my conquering presence to make her frightened of me for 1 minute.
Oh shit.
She'd have to make a wisdom saving throw. I feel like she has a good wisdom save.
Probably.
Not necessarily. It is like a channel divinity feature. I also have intimidation as a skill too. But, so I guess I talked to her and I'm like, so what? My friends here don't necessarily want to imbibe your phlegm, but what do you have in mind for me? Because kind of curious to see what you have in mind.
She's like, I will have to talk to the archdruid about it. And sorry, just to clarify, she's not like the archdruid, the Florence that you're talking to. She's more of like a sub archdruid. Like there is the archdruid, but you're not talking to them.
They are like a bishop, whereas the pope is somewhere else. Got it.
Yeah.
And I just straight up let her know, well, I'm not going to wait for you to go get in contact with your archdruid because we're just trying to travel through here. So we're just going to decline your offer and be on our way.
She says, I have given you the first offer. You'll have 2 more offers before your organs will be repurposed. She says, please make your way back to the pit, and we will discuss more tomorrow.
I say, how about we go talk to your boss instead?
She says they are very busy.
Yeah, so are we.
She's like, they are communing with Churn constantly and trying to find a way to break down the barrier between the land of shadows and our world.
God, that sounds like just the worst thing to let happen.
Okay, I guess
like, what's the upside there? Like, what's the end game? I don't know. If you guys are ready to go back to the pit, I'm fine. But with that, but I'm also like fine with throwing down at any moment.
I think we have a better chance of sneaking out at a time than fighting out now.
Well, if we want to sneak out, I can cast silence on us, and we can literally move in perfect silence.
Yeah, or
Oh shit.
are you trying to fight right now or wait till later?
We probably would want to wait till later, but I'm afraid that we'll need a plan to get out of the pit before we jump in that pit.
Yeah, that seems like opening ourselves to just being like, if we try to escape from the pit, get shot down by a bunch of archers. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like I said, I'm down for the jailbreak now or later.
Had a bunch of people hidden in the trees, like following us back to the their gathering place or whatever. So, they're like all druidy type people, so I feel like there's a reason why it's 15 feet in the ground.
So what are our concrete options here? Do we go into the pit and risk it, or do we fight right now and risk it? And then is there any other choice we have, really? We're pretty much like, I feel like we are in a very unfavorable situation no matter what.
Right now,
they said that they were going to talk to us again tomorrow, so we could always try to escape when they let us out of the pit next time.
That's true. We could like use the night to
Like come up with a plan.
mull over and escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
right now, how many of their group are around us? Is it just her and the other person?
This is kind of like a classroom, so you see probably like a dozen straggling like scout people sitting around, but it was pretty bustling. You guys are pretty much in the center of town, so there's like 40 people walking around.
If we try to start a fight right now, pretty much the entire town is gonna like retaliate. I guess we don't really have much of a choice except to go to the pit.
I'm fine with it. We can also see what Habe found out too, and that might help us figure out what we want to do.
True.
Okay. How about this? I'm gonna try to roll another persuasion and say to try to negotiate a better situation for us where they keep a guard or a couple of guards watching over us, and we stay above ground and not go into the pit. And I got 12.
Cool, do it.
Got 12 total. Not good.
So, sorry, what?
You got 12.
Okay. She shakes her head and she's like, "No, it is common procedure for you guys to stay in the pit. And let me make it clear, you guys will never be there for more than a day. We're not a fan of keeping anybody confined like that."
Didn't that guy say he was there for a while?
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Wow. Some fake news shit going on.
He also said that he had talked to the archdruid.
I want to talk to him too, so I'm literally just along for the ride. Into the pit.
Monkey, do you have an opinion either way?
I'm going to go back to the pit just so I can make sure that my boys are with me before we bust out of here.
Oh yeah, we don't want to leave them behind.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, so they lead you back to the pit, and one of the scouts is kind of walking with you guys and was like, kind of like kind of haphazardly talking to you guys. Like she thinks that she somehow can talk you guys into it, even though the archdruid couldn't. She's like, yeah, man, yeah, I used to be like you guys. I didn't really know what I was doing with my life, but Churn, man, he really opened my eyes. You know, he broke the boundary down between me and understanding. I really think that you guys should do it.
Just ask him if he got pink eye.
It's like, yes, in both eyes, and it's great. So you guys go back to the pit and join Hanbei and the others. And the people that you see there, I'm guessing that Tonki kind of gets the read from Hanbei before you guys really get a chance to like figure out for yourself. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people down there, not including Hanbei and the what's the boy's name?
Sanchiro.
Sanchiro, yeah, Hanbei and Sanchiro. One of them is wrapped up in a cloak, kind of like in the fetal position on the ground. There are three men, kind of basic bitches. There's a pale teenage boy in a blue cloak that's kind of muddy, but it seems like it was kind of nice at one point. And then there is an old woman that you guys recognize, and she is the one that was on the caravan when you guys met Gunch, and she was the one that was saying howling voices no moon,
Yeah.
or something like that whenever you guys were about to fight those lycanthropes. But the read that you get from Hanbei is he's like, okay, so first off, what the fuck, Reader is here, and he gestures to the person in the cloak on the ground. It's like, that's Reader. So he got captured pretty soon after he ran away from Artesia's study. These 3 gentlemen, and she gestures to the basic bitches, he's like, they are from Castle Greenstone. This boy, he says his name is Lucas, but he didn't really want to tell me much about him. And then this woman, she hasn't responded to me in anything that I can understand.
I pretty much go over to Reader and check on Reader and see if he's okay and stuff like that. Because he used to be my
Yeah,
homie.
he's like, Soldier? Soldier, is that you?
I'm
It's
like, yeah,
horrible here. What are you doing here?
like, well, we're on a mission to go to Acentract, and they pretty much captured us. Like I'm sure they took you in too. But don't worry.
Yeah, they got me too, just like that. You gotta get me out.
I tell him, yeah, don't worry, buddy. I'm gonna get you out of here. Don't worry.
Thanks, Soldier. You always did look out for me.
I let him know that we're still willing to take him back at the tower with Artesia if he's willing to accept the truth about everything.
He says, yeah, man, it's fucking awful out here. I thought that it'd be okay, but jeez. I want to go back to Artesia.
So I'm like, yeah, man, I'll take you back if we're able to get out of here for sure.
He's like, yeah, yes, please.
Yes.
He goes back to his dormant state in the fetal position on the ground.
Right.
So there's those 3 basic bitches. There's Lucas, and then there's the old woman.
Lucas is from where?
Lucas didn't want to say too much about himself, and he seems kind of reserved. He's like in a meditative pose off to the side with his legs crossed and his palms up.
And there's an old lady that they recognize?
Yes, you didn't recognize her, but everybody else did.
Okay.
She was from Acentract, kind of.
I go greet her.
Can I roll religion to see if I recognize Churn as being anything that resembles like another deity or something? Like maybe this is something by another name.
Yeah, go for it.
kind of what I was thinking actually. A new name for the god.
Let me think about what you might know.
Sounds good. That's what I do with my night. Is go through some of my books and shit.
He's a boogeyman from the Shadowfell. He's something to look out for in the Shadowfell / Veil of Shadows / Land of Shadows, whatever.
Huh. Okay, well then that explains why he wants to fucking merge the Shadowfell with the here and now.
Yeah.
He wants out.
Yeah.
I tell the group that, in case that affects anybody else's priorities or anything.
That he's a bad boy.
Just how urgent it is that we maybe might want to like do something other than just leave.
Yeah. The old woman actually sees you, and you were scribbling down everything that she said before. And so she grabs onto your shirt and she starts like shaking you with as much as she can with her frail little old lady arms, which isn't very much. She's mostly just shaking herself. But she starts speaking to you in kind of like a throaty, earnest voice. And she says, "Born of fire, sharp as steel, burning parchment, ancient seal, forged and new, cast in stone, friendly hearth, or burned to the bone."
Shit. Isaac, could you repeat that? I start writing down anything I missed.
She start. I assume that you like
Yeah.
remember it enough to write it down, but she starts getting like, instead of repeating it, she gets a little bit hysterical. She kind of shakes out of it and she's like, "I'm on my last chance to drink from the woodland phlegm, and I can't do it. I can't forsake Saloon."
Why is that name familiar?
Your character would definitely know it as the moon goddess.
Okay, yes, that is why. I take her by the shoulders and I assure her that she won't have to forsake her god, and that we are going, well, that I at least will get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. She starts sobbing, and she puts her head in her hands, and she like kind of slides down and sits on the ground.
Jesus. Okay. So
I was kind of thinking. I was hoping she was gonna let me drink the phlegm. That way, I could like pretty much drink all of it, so you guys wouldn't have to.
dude, badass.
She like caught on right away, and she was like, "No, it's not gonna work on you." I was like, "Damn."
Well, let me say that they have plenty of phlegm to go around.
Oh God. Plenty of phlegm to go around.
Yeah.
I come to the party at some point in the night and try and like keep as quiet as possible. I'm like, guys, I don't think I can like leave here without doing something about this cult. This is really bad news. Like, we've got some sort of entity from the Shadowfell trying to break a hole in the planar boundaries to come to the material plane. Like, we have this whole like disease cult thing here. Like, I think that leaving this alone is a bad idea.
So we gotta fuck it up, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we ought to at least disrupt their attempt to get churned into this plane.
Tonki says that he came to Stormside in the first place to find better ways to beat back the shadows, so he's 100% down to stop this.
Soldier says that he's totally down to take care of this problem. That just seems like it's gonna be like, they said that their group is like around 200, and like even just like guessing that only like, let's say 25% of them could fight us in combat. That's still 50 people. Like, we're only a group of 5 or 6 people at the most.
We only need to like break ourselves out of here at the minimum.
Yeah. I think what Grin's like thinking right now is something along the lines of get an audience with the headest of honchos, see if we can figure out about this ritual, and then like on the way out, just like fuck it all up. Like just take a piss on their like pentagram or whatever, you know, like
Yeah.
knock over all the trash cans, that kind of thing.
Shit.
We gotta do it before they kill this old lady.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, her last probably in the morning, so
Yeah, she has her last chance tomorrow.
probably I guess our
Maybe we can get the guards to take us with her. We can be like, oh, we're gonna do it too. Like we're all gonna do it. And then maybe we can all go at one time, and then that way we can make sure she's safe.
I asked the 3 dudes who were part of the group of 5 or whatever. I asked them if it's their last chance tomorrow too.
Oh shit. Okay, so let's just try and go with all the last chancers.
Yeah. Is it?
They're like, no, us 3, we did try. We were 5. We tried to escape before, but now we're 3. We've had our one chance. And yesterday was the archer was too busy to talk to us. And then
I asked them how they tried to escape and how they would do it better this time.
we tried running really, really fast, you see. But they're way faster than us.
Ask them. They're from Castle Greenstone, right?
Yeah.
I asked, are they like soldiers or like what?
They are.
Regular people or?
One is a tanner, one is a trapper, and one is a low-level ranger.
Okay, I asked the guy who's a ranger how many people he thinks they have in their fighting force. Like, how many people could fight against us?
He says, geez, well, most people here, they either have the survival skill to be able to find us, or they have the ranging skill to be able to chase us, or they have the magical powers that were granted from Churn, or they're all quite skilled with bows as well.
So basically, as long as there's like more than the number we have, they're going to be able to find us.
There's not like a women and children kind of aspect to this population, yeah.
It's just stragglers and vagabonds and rangers and shit.
Yeah.
Not like an elderly or children population, really.
They don't really know.
Okay. So yeah, we can't take all of them on at once, essentially.
So Lucas kind of pipes up and he's like, "You guys are trying to escape, huh?"
Yeah, I say we're not gonna let these guys get sick, infected by the phlegm or whatever, and they're not gonna keep us here. So I guess the only way is to get out of here somehow.
He's like, "Yeah, I need to get back to my father at Castle Greenstone." And yeah, we definitely need to stop Churn also. And my organization is trying to see to that.
Does anybody have like knowledge history?
Yeah, ish. Like I'm not super good at it, but I technically have it.
If you can remember, if there's like a Prince Lucas.
I got a 14.
You're kind of like, "Wait, who are you?" And he's like, "My name is Lucas
Grumble Tink.
Rumble what?
Grumble Tink.
I am Prince Lucas Grumbletink."
Oh,
Grumble
shit.
thing.
Yeah, I guess that kind of catches my attention too, just because I'm from the area.
Actually, he's like, "I was Prince Lucas Grumbletink."
Man, I sure fucked my own lore with that one.
He's like, I forsake my heritage to join the Glim,
Glim?
which I am only an initiate, I should admit, but The Glim are an organization that lives in the Shadowfell, and they are devoted to the Raven Queen, and we are her vassals. And as long as the Raven Queen stands, Churn will not make it to this world.
Shit, the Raven Queen is against Churn? Okay, well, this is a weird alliance.
She's like, the Raven Queen would never ally herself with Churn.
Oh, I meant that it's weird for us to ally ourselves with the Raven Queen. No offense meant either way.
He's like,
I
none
was
taken?
asking how many are in his group, like how many allies he has.
He says that they hide their numbers, but he suspects somewhere in the realm of like 40 or 50.
Okay.
He says, how much do you guys know about the Shadowfell?
He asks us.
Let me roll and find out Arcana-wise. I know a 13.
Okay,
Familiar, but not in detail, I guess.
you know the boogeyman stories, but he starts going into it, and he's like, the Shadowfell is a dark echo of the material plane. It's kind of like a dream catcher where tortured or confused or purgatorial souls get caught and lost. And there are many evil beings that try to steal or make deals with those souls, but the Raven Queen is devoted to make sure those souls go where they need to go. Churn being the god of reclamation, I'm sure you can see where this is going. He doesn't make sure that the souls get where they're going. He attempts to reclaim them.
So he's basically a pocket of purgatory and just keeps all the souls in his ever-growing petri dish gut.
Yeah.
Yuck.
He doesn't. We don't know if he keeps them or if he uses them. What's up?
Trying to bring the souls back to the material plane.
If they were to try to come back to the material plane, they would come back as specters and ghosts.
Okay.
They need to continue on to the celestial plane, the astral plane, or the hills. But oh yeah, so he also goes on to talk about the Shadarkai, who are beings who one way or another live in the Shadowfell, and they are at constant war with the evil beings that live there, like the changelings or the various demons and stuff. The undead is, oh my god, the undead is a huge thing there. It's a huge problem. But he's like, yes, my organization is mostly Shadarkai, but we're kind of like an action force, like a ranging force in the Shadowfell.
I ask him if he's here on purpose or if he's here because he's captive.
He says, I got caught out, I'll admit, but if I could just get back to my equipment, I have a resonator which will allow me to travel between planes. And I could get out of here easily. Okay. I'm not sure that you guys would want to come with me, but you're welcome to, I guess, if you want to come to the Shadowfell.
I'm not sure that I'd want to follow you so much as I would like your help in stopping this.
He says, if I can get back to my people, then I will tell them everything that has transpired here.
Andre, would I have known anything about his organization, having been in the Shadowfell, done stuff in the past?
Yeah, I will say you totally do. You totally like know the secret handshake and everything. Like you might not be a member of the organization, but you know, like you have some friends in the organization. because the Shadarkai are kind of like descendant from elves and humans. They're kind of like the drow, but the Shadowfell instead. So they're kind of like very pale people, but they're also not inherently evil like the drow.
Yeah.
Hail.
And we're all hunting down changelings and
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, so sorry to that all of that exposition kind of like took us out of the moment. But yes, you guys are in the pit right now. You do have options, I think. What do you guys want to do? It's becoming nighttime.
I've prepared a couple of different spells on my spell list. I swapped out Aid and I think Sanctuary for some lesser restoration and food purification and stuff.
Cool. Dude, what if you just like purified the phlegm?
No, that was why I prepared it.
That's the thing that I was talking about the other day that I was thinking of in the car, and I was like gagging,
Oh my god,
It's
it's
just like-
really, really gross for sure.
imagining the woodland phlegm she wants you all to drink.
Oh yeah, it's gnarly. Yeah, I know that Grin's goal is basically to like disrupt that ritual as best as possible and to definitely not let Churn like infect anybody else.
Yeah, so here's the deal also, and Lucas lets you in on this bit. There isn't like a ritual that the Archdruid, I guess I'll call them Archon, like the Archon, like the head Archdruid, I guess. There's not like a ritual that the Archon is in that once it's complete, it'll like open up the Shadowfell. The Archon is just communing with Churn to try to figure out how to do that, like to figure out the best way.
Got it. I was under the impression that this was kind of like an imminent threat.
It's not a soon threat.
Okay, well, it's definitely on my to-do list, and I definitely do want to mess them up as much as is reasonable given our need to escape. But I'm 100% not letting them get this old lady, and I would like to save the other people we know too at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So, are we deciding that the plan is that we're all gonna say that we're like ready to drink the phlegm so that we can all get out of the pit?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Like everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
like along with the last chancers.
Yeah. Barash and Tonki, how do you guys feel about this? And Cynthia too, I guess.
What's up?
How do you guys feel about this?
I'm down to go along with this plan as long as it leads to like immediate fighting.
I'm done with it either way, but I secretly hope for immediate fighting.
Actually, drink it. We're just gonna try to get all of us get out of the pit.
Right. Yeah, Barash is definitely very angry about all this, and he's down for anything that will get them out / wreck this place. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's do this.
Can I spend some spell slots during the night to I guess anyone in the pit probably isn't infected, huh?
No.
Okay, well I was gonna try and like give people the good touch and get rid of some of their diseases, but
So what's with the Shadowfell option? Can we just do that now?
No, he needs to get his equipment back. Then he can
Yeah.
open a portal.
we can get him to his stuff and he can get back to the Shadowfell.
Anyone else interested in going to Ghost Town?
I mean,
I'm
down-
interested in going for sure. It's just not my immediate like character concern. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I'm definitely curious AF as to both what's going on there and like gathering information about what it's like.
Andre, what Remind me again what the reason we were going to Ashen Tract for.
There's changelings that are kind of infiltrating, and Zool is in trouble mysteriously. You guys don't know how, but that's what Grin got in a letter.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. And also, I talked to the Shatter Kai person, and I can't remember their name, but I'm basically like, so hypothetically speaking, if a place were being overrun by changelings, what would your organization do about that?
He says that dealing with changelings is very much a counter infiltration mission, and that it usually takes a long time, and it involves finding out information that only the real person would know and not the changeling, and trying to like gotcha them.
I see. So, if your organization were trying to counter that problem, it would be a lot of like you said, like counter intel, like spying type stuff.
Yeah.
Would your organization be hypothetically interested in helping tackle such a problem?
He says there is a lot on the Glim's plate right now.
Okay, no worries. I just, I had heard some things, rumors and such. It was just a thought.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got for Gren. He's ready to go to sleep and wake up and start untainting some mushrooms. And Flynn.
I will say that I have down here that Reader was going to mention that there's kind of like an induction ceremony, kind of like literally a ceremony, like non-magical ceremony, like like a meet the new guys kind of team bonding type deal. Not exactly like that, but
Oh my god.
deeper in the forest in 2 days' time. But I'm guessing that you guys might not be interested in that if you guys want to save the old lady.
Yeah, I definitely want to save the old lady.
Is for all the people who agreed to join.
Yes. It's kind of like a rebirthing, because once you drink the woodland phlegm, you're put into the throes of an awful, awful sickness. And the druids like help you through that sickness, like help you merge with that sickness almost. And once you come out the other side, then you're seen as like reborn. And then that's when you're truly a member.
It's pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds also like brainwashing.
Yeah. It's like gut washing.
Watching.
The opposite of that.
Do you think it's stronger than the fish tea?
Oh, Jesus.
Absolutely.
This is a logical progression of the fish tea, if you ask Grin.
I'm thinking that the fish tea might work as an antidote.
Oh my god.
He is appalled by this dimension's interpretation of nature magic.
Yeah, for real. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with these druids? Druids from the Feywild are way more chill.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all go to sleep at night in the pit?
Well, soldier, I only have to meditate for 4 hours and I'm fully aware, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah. So you guys probably all notice, unless you're like deep in sleep, in the middle of the night, Parsnips peeks his head over the edge of the pit. Parsnips is their goat mount, by the way, Marshall. It's Cynthia's goat mount. They peek their head over the side of the pit and just like step out into the pit and just like puts their foot on the wall and just walks down the wall and comes and joins Cynthia and lies down to go sleep.
Oh,
What the
That's super
fuck?
cute.
That's awesome.
Parsnips is great.
Yeah.
Parsnips is the fucking like the heart and soul of this band.
Parsnips is the goat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just to be clear, Parsnips doesn't like clamber their way down. Parsnips literally walks down the wall.
I understand. It's spooky.
Yeah.
Ask everyone if they want me to go on a stealth mission to just murder everyone while they're asleep.
I say, I think that you'll die if you do that, but if you are decided that you will, I'll come.
Okay, I probably will wake them all up, so that's a fair fight. But I'll do it one at a time.
Just step on the head until they wake up and hand them a sword.
I have a bear.
So you only have to sleep for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you do this?
Whenever
Are we gonna coup de grace every sleeping person in this place?
whenever Cynthia gets up, I tell them that your goat literally walked down the side of the wall. So, like, if you can ride your goat up the side of the wall, you could probably get out of here.
Oh, you don't want to do that?
Well, most of us are probably still asleep right now. But I don't know. What could we potentially do with that information? Get Lucas's equipment. Do you have any good stealth?
I do. Myself is 6.
Think your goat?
Hey, Andre, do we know where they're keeping our equipment?
I'm trying to think. I don't think they would have taken you guys' equipment.
No, but
Oh, I meant the other guy. My bad.
Lucas.
Lucas's equipment.
No, you don't. But it's in one of those little hovels, those little mud huts.
We figure out if Lucas knew where his equipment was, or he just doesn't know either.
He says that he has an idea, and if he got it, then he's pretty sure that he'd be able to find it.
Can your goat carry you and Lucas up the wall at the same time, or do multiple trips? I guess.
I guess so. You can go find this item real quick.
I'll go with them. So it's.
Are you a sneaky dude?
No, not
I can, like I said, I'll literally cast silence on you as the point of origin, and then everything in a 20-foot radius of you will just be silent. Like sound won't exist in that radius.
I mean, we can wake the other people up. They just won't have a full night's rest if we do it right now.
All right, let's just stick to the morning plan. Does that sound good?
I'm done waking up early and going then.
Ding.
I think we'll wait until the morning, and then we can just use the goat the next night if we need to, in case we get thrown in the pit again. How does that sound?
to be our secret backup weapon.
Yeah, parsnips can be the secret backup weapon.
God, we have such a great backup.
Do we know what chance Lucas is on?
He has had one chance.
Cool. So, yeah, let's stick with the original plan, and then we'll have the parsnips plan in case we get stuck in the pit again. So we just let everybody sleep, and we'll do it in the morning. Do the morning thing.
Okay, sounds good. So it is morning time. Whenever the scouts walk to the edge, they're like, "How'd that goat get down there?"
Do they ask us?
Yeah.
What do you say, Daryl?
Like, how'd you guys get your goat?
You never been around a goat, man? You can't contain them. They're expert fighters.
They go, "Oh, you," directed to the goat, and they're like, "All right, bright and early, the Archdruid wants to talk with you guys and the old woman. And they have like this lift thing that they let down. It's kind of just like a log for you to stand on that has like vine ropes on either side that they lower down. And so she kind of clambers on and she's shaking. She's like convulsing almost. She's so scared.
I just put my hand on her shoulder.
We're gonna bring Lucas and the other 3 dudes with us too.
Yeah, so the party and the old lady and Kroby, you get inspiration because of how you've been training this lady.
I'm rolling it.
What? Right now? I put my hand on her back better.
Calm her down. Didn't work the first time.
So same deal. The Florence is stirring the pot when you guys approach. And she says,
I think that her and Marshall should start a band.
Name?
oh no. Oh no.
Wait, I don't get it.
Florence and the Machine.
Oh shit. Damn, I
No.
totally missed that.
You lose inspiration.
I don't need inspiration.
Okay, so Florence is like, Luna, it's your last try. Are you gonna drink from the woodland phlegm or not?
I just hate
And
hearing.
she's like, you guys feel free to chime in anytime, but she's like, I will not forsake my goddess Saloon. I will not forsake her. And you have a false god. You call yourselves druids, but you're necromancers. And then like Florence kind of scoffs at her. It's like, you had your 3 chances.
While
And
this is all happening, can I be trying to do something in secret? Like, I'm not trying to interrupt. I just want to like put that.
No,
out there.
no, that's what I was saying. Like, you're welcome to interrupt. What you want to do?
I want to, if in as inconspicuous manner as possible, get within 10 feet of the woodland phlegm wherever they're keeping the vat of it, and I want to purify it.
Oh God.
I'm gonna,
Alright.
kind of scoot closer with Corey just to like be a distraction, kind of.
And I'm gonna stand in between Luna and Florence.
Okay. So she is gonna, unless Marshall, you have like a really good distraction, I think that she's gonna roll at advantage to perceive this.
I ask her if she had a chance to talk to her merch druid yet to see what options she has for me to, succumb to the god churn, just kind of like as a distraction.
She says, "Oh, yes. I talked to the Archon, and they told me about these fungal spores that are able to manifest in wood, and it'll be sort of like a fungal bath, like a fungal dip, to imbibe you with the fungus of the woodlands. Also,
Does that like buy enough time for Corey to get close, basically?
yeah, but I think that she's still rolling at advantage to perceive it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm shouting at her that she's not gonna hurt this old woman while I'm here.
She.
I love that there is so much going on that, like, basically, it's not even secretly happening. It's just that there's too much for them to deal with all at one moment. So I'm just over here purifying their snot while you're screaming at them.
Yeah. So you guys are kind of like having a shouting match. Like, you know that meme where there's the back and forth between the old guy and the younger dude, and he throws the chair?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's that kind of conversation that's happening right now. And I'm going to say that that's enough. Between those two conversations, it's enough for her to not roll at advantage. So she's just perceiving. All right, Kroby, what is your sneaky roll?
Well, I mean, purify food and drink just happens, but if I'm trying to be stealthy,
You can roll stealth or sleight of hand or.
well,
Whatever
it
you
has
want.
verbal and somatic components, so I'm not super sure I can really like like I can't do that like thing where you miss the handshake and you like run your fingers through your hair. I'm not sure if I can do something like that. But I will try and like at least do it in such a way that it's quick and unnoticeable amidst the commotion.
Yeah, how about you roll stealth just to try to conceal your gestures and your words?
Yeah, just like talk below the noise level.
Yeah.
I got a 16.
Um
Not good today.
she sees you basically taint the cauldron of stuff and she's like, "What have you done? Now I have to throw out the whole batch. It's like you poured bleach into it."
I didn't do shit. I just what are you talking about? I literally didn't add anything to it. I just I blessed it.
She's like, this doesn't even smell right anymore. It's downright disgusting. And she pours it out all over the ground.
I said sorry, I was just trying to help.
roll deception.
Oh my god, I rolled pretty good. Okay, let me see. I don't know what my modifiers for this are. I think it's probably just a 15.
She sees right through that too.
I don't even think he was really trying to convince her. I think he's just being a fucking really like sarcastic asshole about it.
Yeah. She's like, "You were trying to help yourself. You know what? Go back to the pit." And then she's like, "Guards, grab Luna."
I go over with Tonki and like step in front of her to like protect her, kind of.
Okay, cool. That means I don't have to do the thing I was meant to say.
The archdruid's like, "If you do this, then blood will be spilled."
At that point, Barash steps up and he goes, "Yes, it will." And he stands with them as well.
I'm
Damn.
gonna go ahead and use my conquering presence. It's an action. She makes a wisdom saving throw, and if she fails, she becomes frightened of me for 1 minute.
And I tell her that better blood spilt than shit drank.
That is the greatest.
Shit. All right, Marshall, what's your thing, dude?
Basically, she makes a wisdom saving throw, and if she fails, then she's frightened of me. Anyways, I say that if she's gonna try to spill blood, then she's gonna have to like fight through me and the rest of my allies. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the saving throw would be. I guess it's my spell DC, which is 12, so I guess she succeeded.
Oh, that sucks. Man, that sucks sick. Yeah, she's fine with it. She's like, "Yeah, we will fight through you."
Okay.
Good
And-
luck. Do we need to roll
Well, it
initiative?
technically works on every creature within 30 feet, so if there's other people, they could try to fail against it too.
Okay. I will roll collectively for all of them. I'll roll for half and then I'll roll for half.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that there's 8 people standing around. 8 of those basic bitch scouts. So 4 of them get 11 and 4 of them get 6. Okay, well, shit.
Well,
So they're all
it's afraid of me right now. They're frightened.
yeah, everybody except for Florence.
Okay, that's cool though. That's still
Damn.
thing.
We will spill your blood later, bitch.
Yeah, so do they leave or do they just like stand there peeing their pants?
They're frightened, which let me see what that does.
I'm pretty sure they have to use their movement speed to get as far away as they can from you.
Yeah, that they have to use their movement action to go
Without
away
putting
from
themselves
you.
in harm's way or approaching another threat.
Willingly
Yeah.
move closer to the source of its fear, and disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. It's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, that's super good.
Yeah, and they have the chance to
Um,
end it at the end of their turn. At the end of every one of their turns, same roll, wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So we buy ourselves some time basically to set up and thin him out.
Yeah, so Florence isn't afraid, and she grabs her staff beside her, and she points it at you guys, and she's like, "Now you'll feel the full wrath of Churn." And she has these like purple lumps on her skin, and they kind of blossom, they kind of raise, and then open up like mushrooms. And she actually has like purple mushrooms all over herself, and like she has warts that kind of like pop up on her face and stuff, and she has this kind of miasma that's like leaking out of her.
Mega gross.
And that's where we'll end it for today.
Oh god. Okay. I'm gonna run up to her and cast Lesser Restoration.
She gets even bigger mushrooms.
I cured her of a disease that was keeping the fungal infection in check.
Yeah. You just struck down the wrong one.
It's a delicate balance in her body, and I just destroyed one of the pathogens that was killing the other pathogens.
Oh god.
God, that's gnarly. Okay.
Sweet, y'all.
All right, bye.
Good shit, dude. Thanks.
All right. Bye, Craig.
Bye.
Leave.
Bye.
Craig.
Oh.
Back, Craig, back.